Hey everybody, this is Ben Hanson from Game Informer, and I'm here with...
Jeff Cork from Game Informer.
Welcome, sir. What we're focusing on today is the training area in Monster Hunter World, which is an interesting little playground for folks.
An absolutely welcome addition, because there are, in this game, 14 different weapon types.
Yeah.
And if you're just starting off with Monster Hunter, it can be a little intimidating. So the way that they let you experiment with them is this new training area. So it's a little different from in past games where you had an arena where you're fighting monsters while also trying to figure out what these particular weapons do. Here, you're fighting against some barrels that are not going to knock you flat on your hiney and kill you.
And plus, with Monster Hunter World now, it shows the damage numbers.
Shows damage numbers? Yep.
Which is huge. And so you can get a real sense of, okay, this gun, if I use this combo, or this sword is going to do this amount if I attack in just the right way.
Yep, this is the perfect range for this light bowgun, for instance. And here you can also see on the screen they've got different combos displayed there, so you get a good sense of how to effectively use each weapon.
Yeah, and strangely enough, you get to this training area from your house, which is in the main town there.
Yeah.
So you can go through a little back door, and it's got vines, it's got a hill to slide down, it's got everything you need as just a fun little playground for you to mess around with these different weapons. Because trying to test out, like, okay, I think I want to go with the long sword, but like, what am I going to do? I'm not just go out and just spend so much time fighting a monster. It's so easy just to go on these barrels, figure out what feels good, and I don't know if the game, I don't think the game really steers you here that heavily, but I would heavily recommend it to players.
Absolutely.
If you're new to Monster Hunter, when you get started in this game, go through your house, go to the training area, test out all these different weapons, all the different combos to find out what works well for you.
There are previews you can see of each weapon too, to get a good sense of like how it performs, kind of what it does broadly before you go into the training room, which I think is also quite helpful. Because you look at this list, it's like, well, what's the difference between a lance and a gun lance? Obviously, one of them has the word gun in it, so presumably there's a projectile involved. But it's just a nice way to see, oh, okay, this is exactly what this does. Then you take it into the training room, and you're good to go.
How can I hurt someone with a hunting horn?
Oh, you play some sweet music. a dirge.
Yeah, we talked to Ryozo, the game's producer, a little bit about this space in general and how important it was for them to cast a wider net with Monster Hunter World. And it's something they're definitely thinking about a lot. He talked about how important playtesting was, talking to the European and American offices, and that weird mixture of like external and internal pressure. Like, they were well aware of the systems that are a little more archaic within the Monster Hunter series. And when they want to widen out that door, they said the #1 piece of feedback from playtesting, which I agree with from the older games, is like, man, you just don't know when you're hitting. I understand it's all about observing the monster and watching its patterns, and you don't want to ruin that experience for players, but at the same time, you really could use some sort of indication of like, how much damage am I doing? When I went for that jump strike, did I nick his tail or not?
Or that jump strike was very hard to set up, and is it even worth it ultimately? It was like, am I doing a significant amount of additional damage, or should I just stick with my bread and butter on the ground, hitting it with the sharp part of my spear? Yeah,
and I mean, they were also very aware that some fans might not like it. They'll see it as babying down the experience. So like, look, there's a limit to it. They said, we don't want to put an HP meter on top of the screen, which maybe some people would recommend, but we feel like observing that monster is so important. And if you don't like the damage numbers and kind of some of the innovations here, you can go ahead and turn them off. But they saw the damage numbers as a more elegant solution. And I'm curious how Monster Hunter fans in general are going to react to that. I'd imagine it'd be a welcome change. But again, I think this training area is a really, really smart move, and it really helps. Like, this is how I discovered, oh, the insect glaive looks badass, and I've never fought with anything like this in a game before. It's such a unique concept.
Yeah, you don't want to jump into a multiplayer session and annoy everyone at your incompetence. Or go into a single-player session and annoy yourself at your inability to kill even the smallest monsters. So it's a nice, non-threatening way to kind of get your feet underneath you, figure out what you're doing, realize, oh, this weapon is not for me, or, hey, this light bowgun, everyone should use this because it's basically the best thing in the game. You
know what they should do? After like, a couple hours, if you're just sticking around too much in the training mode, they should just have like a Rathalos just fly in the middle of it just to surprise you. The world's smallest map.
It's very smart. I love it.
All right, and that's it for the training area. Hope you enjoyed this footage and you learned something new. Be sure to check out GameInformer.com/Monster Hunter, where we're rolling out a whole month's worth of features about Monster Hunter World.
Bye.
Bye.